What up, guys? CP the Tool Addict. Woo! How's it going? How's it going? Today's gonna be a little bit different video. This is gonna be like a Sunday, just a Sunday sermon. We'll call it. I don't know. This is gonna be a video talking about my experiences and being self-employed eventually. For a couple times, working as a mechanic, blah blah blah. But I'm gonna talk about becoming a Mac tool dealer, and then this is gonna be a different part. So remember, I'm gonna need your guys' input in the comment section. I'm gonna need some likes. In order for me to do it, we got to get at least 2,000 views, and we got to get at least 500 likes on this video in order to continue this. If you like it, if not, it's basically not worth my time to do it, just because I gotta have some sort of traction on this. As much as I want to share with your subscribers, I share a lot on my live stream. So, anyways, minute into the video, let's get into talking about it. So why I became a Mac tool dealer. So long and short of it, I'm going to try to fast forward, and if you guys want to hear about my childhood, we'll have to go into that in a different time. But starting off, I always loved tools. When I was a kid, I got my first tool set was a Buffalo tool set. Then watched my dad and grandpa always struggle working on stuff, and I wanted to become a better mechanic to help them out. Then I got into high school and started, driving cars, and realized that it was expensive to have a mechanic fix it, that I was going to have to fix it. And then I decided that I was going to work on cars. And I also went to school for horticulture and agriculture, ag business. And I wasn't fully committed to that, either one of them, actually. I worked at a golf course, and I worked as a mechanic at the same time, trying to decide which one I liked more. I really wanted to become a farmer, so basically I didn't follow through all the way with my dreams, but I don't really feel disappointed. I don't know that I really would like to be farming right now, because it's a lot of computer work and crop farming. I was more wanted to be an animal farm. I wanted to raise livestock. That's what I wanted to do more than anything. So, moving forward, sorry, got off tangent. I got through school, bought my second set of tools, which would have been a benchtop set. Bought like a complete, ratchet, wrench, socket set from Kmart. Bought some generic air tools, and a Craftsman single bay box, and started hunting for a shop to work at. I found a little station, an Amoco station to work at, and it was nice. They had 4 bays, brand new shop actually. It was a great deal. They had 2 shifts, 7 to 3, 3 to 11, and of course 3 to 11 would have been perfect, so I could go to school during the day. So this was awesome. It's a great deal for me. And I was also working at I worked at a golf course. Then I went to a greenhouse, or not a greenhouse, but a garden center store too. So I was working 2 jobs at the same time. Anyways, moving right along. Working on cars, got to know, then I got into school. Then I decided I was going to buy a toolbox, so I went with my student discount program, bought a Waterloo toolbox, filled it up with all SK tools, and now I finally had started to see the light of having better tools. I was really disappointed in my past purchases, and I started to realize that my recent purchases, or my SK purchases, or upgrading my tools, was definitely where to be at. Now, once again, SK wasn't a Snap-on, so it was a nice middle-of-the-road jump, and I was really pleased with my purchase, to be honest with you. I hadn't really used a bunch of Snap-on at this point, though, or Mac, or anything else, but I definitely could tell the difference and made an upgrade. Then, after working in the shop, started buying. We had a Snap-on dealer, we had a Matco dealer, and we had a Mac dealer. The Snap-on dealer was very nonchalant, didn't really care too much about if I bought or not, and he sometimes showed up at night, sometimes didn't. And then the Matco dealer was really nice, really liked him. His name was Russ. He was a super awesome guy. It was sad his wife passed away, and he ended up getting out of the business because of obvious reasons. But man, he was probably the best Matco dealer I've had to this date, which I would have probably been really stuck on Matco. And then my Mac dealer. So my Mac dealer became my number one go-to dealer. He was obviously there all the time. The Matco dealer disappeared. Well, he didn't disappear. He had to quit when his wife got cancer. So it was a sad situation. But Matco back then had a lot of really good tools, man. Early 2000s, Matco would have been, in my opinion, really hard to compete with right now, without a doubt. They really had a lot of good things going for them, and they had Armstrong on their side, and they had a lot of cool stuff, a lot of innovative stuff, and I really liked their stuff. Anyways, moving forward, at one point, my Mac dealer said, "Hey, have you really thought about becoming a tool dealer?" Because I would just always talk about tools, and I bought a lot of Blackhawk stuff off him, and bought some SK stuff, and I bought some Mac stuff, but the Mac stuff was out of my price range a little bit, but once again, I didn't spend cheap money, I spent decent money. So, with that being said, I said, "No, what would it take?" And he says, "How much money do you got?" And we started talking financials and blah, 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 and got the wheels spinning. So I said, well, I'd do it if I had somebody to help me out, or back me or have a partner of some sort, and so we kind of made an agreement. And I thought, wow, this is, I could become a tool dealer. And I thought this would be cool. And I really liked Mac tools. Not only that, my cousin was a Mac tool dealer for 30 years. So Mac tools was in the family here. And Mac tools, whether you guys know it or not, is pretty prevalent, was pretty prevalent in Iowa. And I think they still are decently. They're still Matco doesn't cover what Mac does here. I'll just say that. It's Snap-on and Mac in Iowa. That's all there is to it. Not really, and Mac is not as big as they once were. There was, at one time, we had 6 dealers here, and now I think we're down to 2 or 3. And that's kind of what it happens. Snap-on rules this town, without a doubt. Anyways, so I said, all right, let's do this, and I made the commitment, and we started talking about doing, planning and, buying and getting inventory and all this stuff. So we got lucky and we bought a old company Mac tool dealer's truck, which Mac Tools had they used to have a corporate dealer program where they would hire guys to run their corporate trucks. So we got lucky and bought that. Got an old truck, 97 Grumman Olson, which I think this was in 2001 that this took place. So it's not really that. I mean, about 20 years ago. I was pumped. I was jazzed. I was bad. And I'm going to tell you right now, I didn't look at getting into Matco. I didn't look at Snap-on. I didn't look at Cornwell. Probably, in all retrospect, should have done that. But in hindsight, 2020, there wasn't no way anybody else was going to make the deal that I was getting on this. I mean, we bought inventory so dirt cheap. We bought a truck so dirt cheap. We got into this whole thing for less than 50 grand. And most tool dealers will be like, there's no way. Well, it was the right time. It's all about timing, guys. Patience and timing. I have made so many good deals in my life because of patience and timing. That's all there is to it. I bought my house from patience and timing. I've done a lot of things from just patience and timing. You have to understand that if you're looking for something or want a deal on something, it's all about patience or timing. I'm telling you, you can't. If you're looking for make a big purchase on a tool, maybe let's say, for instance, you want to buy a new scan tool. Sometimes it pays to wait and look around. You can find deals on them, whatnot. Anyways, moving forward, I was pumped, jazzed, going to become a Mac tool dealer. Man, this was awesome, and I was excited. So I decided we were like, well, should I drive out there? Should I fly? And I said, well, I'd rather just drive out there. I love driving, loved seeing wanted to see the country. So I think I got up early. I think I went summer of 2000 or 2000 maybe. I can't remember the exact date, but went driving out there. Got out there, stayed in Dublin, Ohio, went to the Mac Tools, then went to the facility, and it was their warehouse distribution center. Met my instructor. There was about 20 guys in class. I think there's something like that. And my first And that's when the disappointment started. That's when the disappointment started. First of all, they started off with their sales pitches and talking to us how to sell tools, and they kind of break you in slowly. And boy, they just start feeding you the garbage. Feeding you the garbage. Now, you got to know how to weigh out this information when you're going into it. And I think I was really good at just weeding out the garbage. And I was like, you know what? As a mechanic, I liked how my tool dealer did stuff, and I liked how I saw other tool dealers that did the same thing where there was low pressure sales, but if they give you information and show you tools. Now, I will say my dealer wasn't good at showing me tools, but I did kind of pick up on that. Showing you tools is what helps you determine. The thing about it is I never showed anybody tools with the expectations of them buying them. I showed them tools because I really genuinely thought they were cool and useful, much like I'm doing on YouTube now. And that's really my passion, is when I see something neat or cool or different and showing people. It's just absolutely, I don't know, it's just something about it. It's like it's something about me that I like. You know what I mean? Like that's what it is. Now, you're always going to have those jackwads who'd always, and I always had those guys, just negative, terrible, hateful people. And it's no different on YouTube. Same people. I don't know what their problem is, what they did, who hurt them, but they always want to judge you and criticize you and be negative and, whatever. Okay. So I learned to weed them out a little bit. Actually, I was a lot better at doing it back then than I am now. I don't know. I'm getting less tolerant now the older I get. But back then, I used to just not even pay attention to them at all. I didn't care. Moving forward, it was cool to see how the inner workings, understanding how stuff was made, seeing the toolbox factory, learning the history of Mac tools, learning how the product was made, the process. I learned about the knuckle saver wrench, which I'd never even knew before then. My dealer didn't even show me, which was always a funny thing to me because knuckle saver is like one of the big things about Mac tools is their knuckle saver wrenches. They're definitely pretty decent, but learned that, there's a Proto Factor or the Proto and Stanley Black & Decker. That was like one of the it was a little disappointment at me for first. When I found out that Stanley Black & Decker owned Mac, and I always, and I know that's kind of a thing that people do, but then after learning about Stanley Black & Decker, I was like, man, they're not as bad of a company as some of these other companies are. They're just very big, and but I think they still have some morals. Now, any corporate stuff, you're always going to have it. The bigger people get into a business, the less they lose touch with reality. That was one thing that I'd already set forth to myself that I wasn't going to let happen, is that I wasn't going to lose touch with reality. That being said, and don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, all those things right now, because we're going to have a part 2, and like I said, I need 500 likes, and, we need some comments in there, and I need to keep, if we want this to roll every Sunday, I'll do this, but anyways, so I had a killer deal waiting for me at home to get started, and I had a good experience. Got to visit the corporate offices, got to meet John Aiden, got to meet some special people, and in the years to come, I had a lot of great experiences. That being said, those experiences also come with disappointments too, and I should have known better, but that's kind of where I think I'm going to leave this off right now. And then we'll talk about when I left Columbus and started getting into the business and whatnot on the next episode, if we get enough traction or whatnot. But we'll just kind of test plot it and see what happens here. But I don't want to get this video too long because I don't know if I can keep people's attention that long, and it doesn't do me any good to make a video that only gets watched for 6 minutes because people aren't interested. And I hope you guys understand that. I don't want to waste my time doing this and not get some sort of deal from it. I'm just testing this, and like I said, we'll have to see, so no guarantees I'll continue this, but if you want me to continue this, we definitely need to see some traction. Otherwise, I will continue this on my live streams, and you'll have to come watch it on my live streams, because that'll be more of my useful of my time, to be honest with you. So anyways, guys, like, comment, share, subscribe for part 2. Remember, keep your hands dirty and your money clean. Thanks for watching.